Hey guys, what's up? Kinsey here, and today we are going to be washing our gear. So I just got back from the JMT, and before I put all of my stuff away, I want to make sure that it is clean, that it is dirt-free, smell-free, and just honestly ready for the next adventure. So normally this is not something that I would do after every trip, but since this was a longer 20-day trip, plus I've been using this stuff all season, I kind of just want to give it that once over, good clean for the year so that I know that it's taken care of. Gear is expensive, and so it's really important that you take care of your gear properly and especially wash it properly, because there are some things that you can do that can actually hurt your gear. And so we're going to go over 3 different things today, which will be my backpack, my sleeping pad, and my tent. In another video, I will be washing my down things, as those have a much different process than this. Okay, so you guys know it, you've seen it on this channel. I have the Z-Packs Arc Haul 60, and so this thing is due for a little bit of a bath. There's quite a bit of dirt up at the top. I noticed that the pockets are really dirty, the bottom is dirty, so it just needs a really good clean. The second thing that we're gonna wash is my Z-Packs Duplex Light, and so this got rained on, snowed on, lots of different terrain on the JMT, and so it just is needing a good bath. And then last but not least, we are going to clean my sleeping pad. So I have the Divide insulated version, and it is dirtier than I thought it would be coming back from this trip. And it's honestly a little bit disgusting to look at. And so hoping we can get some of the dust and dirt and debris out of it, and just make sure that it is ready and doesn't smell, because 20 days on trail is a little stinky. So okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need for cleaning your gear. So super easy, super basic. All you need is a tub or some sort of bucket. I've seen people use coolers, just something that you can kind of submerge your gear into. So that is number 1, first and foremost. Number 2 is going to be some sort of mild detergent. So a laundry detergent that isn't filled with chemicals, something more natural like a Dr. Bronner's, or something just with minimal ingredients. And then I'm going to be using some sort of soft bristled brush as well in this process. Let's get to it. So we're going to start with my backpack. And one thing that I think that is important that you do is you can take off certain parts of the backpack. And so if you feel like your backpack needs that kind of really intense wash, I'd highly recommend taking off the pieces that you can, loosening the straps, adjusting the straps, taking off just whatever you can, just so that you can wash everything individually. That water, that soap can all get in there and get it as clean as possible. So let's take off some pieces of this backpack so that we can get it extra clean. All right, then once you get as many pockets or straps off as you want to make sure you go ahead and give it a good shake out. And then do the same for all of the pockets. Okay, and then like I said, loosen up or tighten some of these straps just to get a different area of the strap exposed. Okay. So once you have your backpack taken apart as much as you want, have it kind of pre-cleaned, as in everything's out of it, all of the pockets are shaken out, loose dirt, etc. We're going to go ahead and give it just a spray down with a hose. We just want to make sure that all the dirt that's just initially on the outside doesn't end up in the tub. Since we are doing it in a tub, we are going to have all that dirt in the bottom, and that water is just going to get dirty. So we want to keep it as clean as we can for as long as possible. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with the pockets and the straps. All right, and then other than your tub, like I said, you'll need some sort of soft bristled brush, so nothing super hard, and then some mild detergent. So this is what I'm using as my tub to wash my backpack, my sleeping pad, and my tent. And so what you want to do is you want to fill this up with warm water, and then you're going to take your items and you're going to put them in here to soak, just to get that dirt to loosen up a little bit. So warm water in some sort of tub, and let's let it soak. So you want to make sure to get it submerged, make sure that everything is getting wet. You can do soap first, you can use your brush first. It's kind of up to you how dirty your pack is, where you want to go from here. But you can either start to scrub a little bit, see if you can loosen up some of the dirt in the areas, or we can go ahead and start washing. So up to you. I'm going to take the brush, I'm going to rub a little bit around before I start washing, but you could do either at this point. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I can already see dirt and debris floating around in here. And so glad I did that initial wash. Now let's get the soap in action and see what else we can get out. All right, so now I'm gonna take a little bit of the soap and I'm gonna put it in the water and mix it up. All right, once I'm done with one piece, I'm gonna go ahead and take it and set it outside of my tub just so that I know what's ready to be rinsed. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but that water looks a little dirty to me. So we definitely got some progress. Okay, so once our backpack has been washed and cleaned and soap has been applied, soaked, all the things, we're gonna spray it down, make sure that we get all that soap out of there, and then we're gonna let it hang to dry. And then you just hang to dry. Okay, that was how to wash your backpack. Now let's do our tent and our sleeping pad. Honestly, it's pretty much the same process. Make sure you rinse it, make sure you soak it a little bit, make sure you scrub it, soap, rinse, dry, etc. Kind of same thing, but let's do our tent next. You want to make sure that you get inside the zipper because if you're anything like me, I feel like most of the dirt and stuff is on the floor of my tent when I get in and out. So make sure you undo it, maybe flip it inside out, make sure you get both sides. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in some soap. Agitate all around. On the tent, the brush is optional. I feel like you can do a lot with just agitating since it is kind of all the same material, unlike that backpack. Okay, so Zpacks recommends that you set it up once you wash it, but I don't want to get the bottom all dirty again in the grass, and so I'm going to let the bottom dry and then I'm going to set it up. So I've just laid it out flat on top of our hot tub, and I'm going to let it dry a little bit before setting it out to completely dry. Okay, last but not least, it's time to do the sleeping pad. Maybe the most dirty looking thing, so we'll see how clean it comes out. All right, so we're gonna do the same process, rinse, soak, wash, rinse again, and then let it dry. Keep these closed. Make sure that no moisture gets on the inside whenever you're washing this. I just think that that would be really hard to dry out completely, and so I don't want there to get mold or anything on the inside of this pad, so we're gonna keep these closed. All right, now we're gonna put this in here, let it soak for a few before I put the soap, and we are going to use the brush a little bit on this one just to see if we can get some of these spots off of it. As you're putting your sleeping pad away or cleaning it, it's always a good time to patch any holes to if you have any. I didn't experience any of that on this trip, but my friend Meg had a couple holes, I think, in hers as it started to deflate towards the end of our trip, and she had to blow it up a few times in the middle of the night. So always good to make sure whenever you get home from a trip, take care of your gear, clean it, and patch holes, resupply, whatever you need to do. So I've talked about it in my video before. Make sure you restock your first aid kit if you use anything. Make sure you take care of it on the front end. Just that way you don't have to remember right before you're about to go out on an adventure. For me, when I go on an adventure, I want to be able to just grab my bag, put all my gear in it, and be ready to go. I don't want to have to think about, oh, did I do this last time? Oh, did I put that back where it was supposed to go? I like to make sure all my stuff is in order and just ready to go for my next adventure. And like I said, this is not something that I would typically do, but maybe once a year, depending on how much you backpack is going to depend on how often you need to clean your gear. But like I said at the beginning of this video, gear is expensive and I want to take care of it. I want it to last as long as possible. I invest in good things and I expect them to last me a long time, but that also requires that I do my part to take care of it. Okay, so now let's add that little bit of soap. So for your sleeping pad, it's going to be really important that you have a soft bristle brush. The last thing that we want is to poke a hole in our sleeping pad, so make sure you have something that is really soft. Okay guys, there you have it. That is how to properly clean your tent, your sleeping pad, and your backpack. I hope this video has been helpful. I'm going to let this dry just right here since I'm done with this tub for the day. And then once everything is dry, I'm going to make sure to put it all back together and put it away properly so that it's ready for my next adventure. I hope that this has been helpful. Please like or subscribe if it has been, and let me know what you guys want to see next.